Hey folks, welcome to Pol Ke Bol. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Today again, I have with me Dhaval Rathod for the third time. Dhaval, this is turning out to be a monthly series. I'm so happy to see you back. What's up? How are you? Nice t-shirt.
Thanks. I appreciate that, and thank you for having me again. And this is just a lovely thing to do. Saturday evening. I didn't have any plans anyway, but then anytime I would love to do a podcast with you.
I was going to say तेरे पास plans नहीं था इसलिए तू है ना मेरे जैसा है कि मेरे पास भी plans नहीं है and we are like चलो कुछ करते हैं. But
तो ये तो
good
हर
shit, man. Good.
सैटरडे का थिंग हो जाएगा फिर तो, because every
I
Saturday
think
plan नहीं
so. I
करते.
think I think we can do something like that. Like I think we can do something like that. That will actually help both of us. By the way, your t-shirt reminds me of mangoes. आज ही जाके mango खरीद के लेके आया. And mango ऐसा 17 प्रकार का mango है रास्ते पे, ठीक है?
हाँ
And some of them are selling the same mango for like 700,
हाँ.
800 and the same mango for 1200. ऐसा रास्ता क्रॉस किया तो 800 और 1200 डायरेक्ट मतलब 50% हाइक. मतलब
But
भाई
that
किस
would
बात
depend
का
on
बोल
the
रहा हूँ उसका माल खराब.
varieties, no? What variety you're
No,
buying? So,
no.
for
अरे
example,
सेम अरे देवगिरी अल्फोंसो वो सब अलग अलग रत्नागिरी वो सब अलग अलग है. नो
hmm,
सेम स्टफ दे आर लाइक कि नहीं मेरा माल अच्छा उसका माल खराब है. वन डूड
hmm,
टुडे आफ्टरनून आई एम नॉट इवन किडिंग आई वेंट आउट विद माय वाइफ टू बाय स्टफ एंड
hmm.
वो ही गॉट ऑफेंडेड. ही इज लाइक आप उसका कैसे खरीद सकते हो. मैं अरे मतलब लाइक तू
Why?
1200 का बेच रहा है मैं रास्ता क्रॉस करके मेरे को 800 का मिल रहा है. लाइक उसका माल खराब है. तो मैं बोला मैं खा के देखेगा उसका माल खराब निकला तो तेरे पास आएगा. मैं डूड ही वेंट टू द फ्लोरिस्ट. उसके बाजू में फ्लोरिस्ट था जो उसका दोस्त था. ये देखो ये
हाँ.
गलत आदमी से खरीद रहे हैं. I'm like what the fuck dude.
What?
Dude I'm not kidding. He actually did that.
ये कैसा
Dude
shopkeeper है, slander and all, and what kind of obligation do you have to buy mangoes from him?
I don't know dude. He's like तुम लोग को समझ नहीं आ रहा मैंगो कौन सा अच्छा है कौन सा नहीं. मतलब मैं खाएगा तो ही समझेगा ना भाई. अभी पका मत यहाँ से. Dude आज बहुत weird shit हुआ. मतलब उधर ही बाजू में जहाँ पे वो मैंगो बेच रहा था. This one Swiggy guy, he's on a scooty and he's checking his phone and वो almost डालने वाला था मेरे स्कूटी के अंदर. Okay, and I just started honking. I was like hey रुक. And then he looked up. He's like हाँ okay. And then he looks up. मैं अपना बाइक पार्क किया स्कूटी पार्क किया.
Hmm.
साइड में आता है बोलता है क्या इतना काय का बोलने का देख नहीं रहा था ठोका क्या तेरे को. मला अगली बार ठोकेगा फिर बोलूँ क्या मैं तेरे को. He actually said that. He's like, हाँ, so what if I was not looking on the road while driving? At least I didn't ram into you. So this and the mango guy hitting me for my mango selection skills was
Hmm.
like a 30-second ka gap. 30-60 seconds ka gap. So it's been quite a Saturday, bro. So
So
I
in
guess.
Mumbai, essentially every 30 seconds you'll find a dada. The shopkeepers being a dada,
हाँ.
the Swiggy guys being a dada, and next 30 seconds you'll find
Yeah.
another dada. You don't know just who.
Yeah. I almost like got into like one cycle wala, like today because वो कुछ भी cross कर रहा है, कुछ भी कर रहा है. Very weird start to the day if you ask me. And yeah, मतलब it was damn it. By the way, एक जगह पे मैं अपना स्कूटी पार्क कर रहा था and the
Hmm.
guy who helped me was a juice guy. ठीक है वो जूस बेच रहा था. And by
हाँ.
the time I came back he was giving me those eyes कि मैंने आपका गाड़ी मतलब उठाने से
बचाया
रोक लिया
तो
तो
मेरा जूस ले.
मेरा जूस ले. So I was
Which
like ठीक
sounded
है. I
wrong, by the way.
literally I होता है यार. दैट्स लाइफ इन द बिग सिटी. करना पड़ता है ये
Hmm.
सब टू सर्वाइव.
Hmm.
तो मुझे उसका जूस लेना पड़ा डूड. एंड बाय द टाइम आई ऑर्डर्ड एंड आई गॉट इट इन माय हैंड आई रियलाइज इट्स नॉट लाइक लेमोनेड. इट वाज
Hmm.
आम पन्ना. सो आई वाज हैप्पी. आई वाज लाइक हाँ पन्ना दे रहा है तो वो मैं पी
Hmm.
गया.
Yeah, tell me
दैट्स
something,
व्हाट.
Paul. You're at the stage of life where you're buying mangoes now. Okay, you're on your own, going to the market buying mangoes.
या मेकिंग मिस्टेक्स व्हाइल बाइंग.
Acha, you're making mistakes still. But do you know what
या
varieties you're buying, what varieties to buy? मतलब, do
नहीं
you
ब्रो
have
जो
that enough
अच्छा
knowledge
दिखता है
now?
नो मैं बस ऐसा बोलता अल्फोंसो है एंड ऐसा मीठा है ना भैया. भैया ये अच्छा है ना एंड आई एम लाइक ज्यादा नहीं दूंगा एंड देन आई बाय इट.
Hmm. But how many
I'm
varieties of
very bad at it.
mangoes do you know then?
3-4. ओके
Hmm.
अल्फोंसो मेरे को पता है. ठीक है.
Hmm. Hmm.
देवगिरी मेरे को एक पता है. ठीक
हाँ.
है.
Hmm.
फिर एक थर्ड इज आई थिंक रत्नागिरी और देवगिरी एंड रत्नागिरी आर द सेम. आई डोंट नो.
Hmm.
आई हैव नो क्लू. आई एम वेरी बैड एट दिस.
Hmm.
एंड एक उसके बाद एक लास्ट वाला है वो अजीब मैंगो है. ऐसा अजीब दिखता है वो उससे कैरी
Hmm.
कैरी उसमें सेक्सी आता है एकदम. कैरी वाला
Hmm.
मैंगो.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's it. Those are the ones. I'm very bad at this. You have exposed me right now.
No, the reason why I'm asking is only yesterday I was discussing this with my colleagues, and
Okay.
everybody just buys hapus because in reality
हाँ
सबको लगता है mango is hapus only.
हाँ
Okay,
नहीं ऐसा
and मेरे
टाइप्स
कप
होता है. हाँ, होता है.
हाँ, But it just takes me back to when I was a kid. My dad used to bring like varieties, and he would educate us on which variety is better. Okay, and he
Hmm.
also has like very taste ki, acha, this variety is better, this variety is fuck all. Okay, so for example, he dislikes bengan falli. Okay, there's a variety called bengan falli. He just hates it. Okay.
Hmm.
फिर उसमें भी केसर करके का आता है. He likes केसर.
हाँ, केसर, केसर, yes, the कैरी वाला is
हाँ,
केसर.
हाँ. Then there's लंगड़ा. Then there's चौसा.
हाँ,
हाँ.
हाँ, वो ऐसा ऐसा खाते हैं ना उसको एकदम वो कतरीना कैफ
हाँ.
स्लाइस ऐड वाला ना? वो
So he, मतलब as I was telling you, बैंगन फली he hates. Okay, other varieties he's educated us on कि ये रहता है, ये रहता है. I still can't go to the market and tell कि अच्छा which is which, but at least I know
Hmm.
varieties. So if I have to make conversation like small talk, I can ask अच्छा ये कौन सा variety है, he'll tell me अच्छा this,
Hmm.
and maybe I
Yeah,
can call up my dad and ask if this is a good one.
yeah.
But what I was telling you about was also that smaller variety which is called gaurani in Marathi, of course.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
हाँ, और वो होता है जो दैट इज जूसी, एंड उसको होता है कि ऊपर से यू टेक द थिंग ऑफ द कवरिंग एंड देन डायरेक्टली उसको खाने का. दैट इज
हाँ,
वेरी
वो
गुड.
that's what I was saying ना ऐसे खाना होता है ना
हाँ,
वो and
या
I
या
was like
या
it looks like that Katrina Kaif का slice वाला ad. Just that
हाँ,
Katrina
दैट इज
makes it
ऑल्सो
look
स्टिल
very
डिफरेंट वन. गौरानी इज लाइक,
yeah.
हाँ, ग्रीन ग्रीन वाला जो होता है. या
हाँ, got it, got it. No, but I'll tell you what, like mangoes, like every street, every corner in Mumbai. That is one thing about Bombay, okay? Every 25 feet you can find someone selling mangoes. 25 meters, sorry. You know, just literally बाजू में mango, 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 and it's incredible. Like आज मैं literally बाहर गया था, पानी पूरी खाने गया था. Like I've been doing a lot of
हाँ.
things, I guess now. So पानी पूरी खाने के बाद we were just outside. We are standing and there's this guy वो स्कूटी से आता है and he just stops and he starts like literally arguing with the guy. How dare you sell me mangoes so expensive? He started arguing with him. He's like ऐसे कैसे कर सकता है? बोलता है मैं क्या आज आज पहली बार मैंगो खा रहा है क्या? पका मत चल. And then he's doing that usual trick कि मैं जा रहा हूँ तू देख ले मैं जा रहा हूँ. And he goes and then he reverses the scooty. Then they argue with each other again. I thought खरीदेगा, नहीं खरीदा bro. वो सीधा चला गया मैंगो बिना लिए. And then this mango seller and another hawker friend of his, they were like नहीं ये तो गलत है, इसमें तो हमारा होगा ही नहीं, this and that. So I was like, bro, and these people are getting screwed on margins, yeah. So clearly there is an oversupply of mangoes in the Mumbai market, but that is what it is. Yeah, it's mango season. I think this was a good start. Speaking about mangoes, but how many mangoes do you eat in a day?
I can eat as many, but it's
Huh.
just not healthy. मतलब, too much of anything
Yeah,
is not healthy, right? I can eat as many. I mean, this is the season. I love mangoes. I think mango is
I know.
tech technically everyone's favorite food.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. No, I know some weirdos, dude, who are like, I don't like mango. And I'm like, go fuck yourself, dude. Like, you don't deserve to eat food,
Spawns
you
of
know? Like,
Satan. That's what I call them. Spawns of Satan.
yeah, मैं उनको seriously नहीं लेता ऐसे लोगों को. I think they are attention seekers, you know? Who are like, oh, I knew someone who was like, I don't like roses. You know, I was like, I don't like flowers. I was like, उसमें ठीक है, I guess. What else? What are the normal things like? What do you hate? Like, what else do you hate? Like oxygen or something? Like, why can't people be normal, dude? I mean, seriously, but mangoes are amazing. मैं दिन का 2-3 मैंगो खाता हूँ. Minimum 2 मैंगो खाता हूँ मैं दिन का. मजा आ जाता है, dude. Like it's so tasty. I तो love mangoes.
हाँ.
I think we are well overdue into the mango conversation. Let's talk about like what else is going on. I heard you're spending a lot of time on Reddit nowadays. Tell me what's so interesting on Reddit.
Reddit on desktop actually feels very different.
I know, right? Phone Reddit is much better, frankly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we are looking at our India, right? Like obviously
Mhm.
because we are
Yeah,
an
yeah.
Indian podcast, and we are looking at this. What are the top posts from this month? Elephant Whisperers. That's beautiful. Have you watched it?
No, I haven't seen it yet. I think it's on the OTT. I haven't seen it yet.
Oh yeah, Netflix पे आ गया है. देखने का है मेरे को देखने का है. I've heard like even Prime Minister Modi said कि हाँ एकदम set है and all of that. देखना
Oh,
पड़ेगा
I
ये.
saw this thing on Twitter though, where there was a picture of uh, these elephant whisperers. Of course, I don't know their names. I'm sorry, but they were on an Indigo flight, and I guess Indigo crew announced the fact that they were on the flight, and then everybody was clapping. It was very heartwarming to see.
Wow, I didn't know
Yeah,
that. ये देखना पड़ेगा. Next level. Shit man, good shit.
but yeah,
Elephant
it was
Whisperers
a nice
देखना पड़ेगा.
gesture. Yeah, it was a nice gesture.
Yeah, देखना पड़ेगा for sure. वो भी ट्विटर पे होगा कहीं पे. We'll see.
Mm.
What else? What else do we have? What else do we have?
Oh, this happened. Tim Cook was in Mumbai. They opened the first Apple
Oh
store.
yeah.
Uh-huh. So I don't know. I mean, what the fuss was about. I was discussing this with a friend, and I
Hmm.
really don't know what the fuss is about having an Apple store in India, because
Hmm.
it's just a store selling Apple products we already had. So I
Hmm.
don't know what the big deal is.
I think see, here's the thing, right? This is like recognition. अभी तक see, firstly, it मुझे बहुत टाइम पहले पता चला, but by the time it was quite late, I used to think हाँ Apple तो इंडिया में बेचता होगा, but it's not
Huh.
the case. Apple would sell via like different like
Oh,
retail
yeah, yeah, yeah,
outlets.
yeah, yeah. Mhm.
This is an Apple, it's a Coco store, yaar. It's a company owned,
Okay, okay,
company
okay.
operated store.
Company owned
So
operated
पहले
store.
Coco stores नहीं थे इनके पास. They would sell it via some resellers. वो
Hmm.
retailer नहीं, iSense करके or something
हाँ
of
हाँ
that
हाँ हाँ.
sort. वो तेरे को हर
Okay,
मॉल
okay.
में मिलेगा, इधर उधर मिलेगा. So those were the closest for like iPhone and Apple exclusive products in India. So the reason they didn't have it is because they, according to the FDI laws, they were like, you will have to manufacture a certain amount of your products
अच्छा.
in our country
In the
for
country.
you to
हाँ.
come up with your own retail outlet.
Own
See,
stores. हाँ
खुद
हाँ
के
हाँ.
रिटेल आउटलेट हुआ तो मार्जिन ज्यादा रहता है, क्लियर
हाँ
बात है,
हाँ.
because you
Yeah,
own the
yeah, yeah,
entire distribution, right?
yeah, yeah,
So these
yeah,
people
yeah.
are like, iPhone was like, नहीं हम चाइना में बनाएंगे, यहाँ बनाएंगे, वहां बनाएंगे, all nonsense. India
Hmm.
is like, नहीं,
Hmm.
तो इधर बना और एक इधर काफी सारे बना, then you can sell in India via your own outlet and stuff like that. So abhi clearly in the last couple of years, I think the Foxconn factory does that, if I'm not wrong.
हाँ
The
हाँ हाँ. Yeah,
Foxconn
yeah, yeah.
factory is like, is
Hmm.
it operational? Yeah, maybe.
Hmm.
But yeah, they are producing enough clearly. So they opened
Hmm.
it up in BKC. First was in BKC, second was in Delhi somewhere. I think Connaught Place,
Hmm.
if I'm not wrong. But Delhi में
I
एक जगह पे खोला and BKC में यहाँ पे
cool.
खोला. By the way, this photo you are watching right now, it's this
हाँ.
guy wearing that black hoodie, Steve Jobs wala.
Hmm.
That he's carrying an original Mac from 1980s. ठीक
Oh,
है?
okay, okay, okay,
या
okay.
ये उसका या 80s या 90s का कोई तो मैक है इसका, 30 से 35 साल पुराना है ये, ठीक है? So
Oh, wow.
and he's like, see this, like I'm a true Apple fan. This is my actual Mac when it used to be what it was, and he's like, and this is Tim Cook's actual reaction where he's like, bro, I didn't expect this, and he took Tim Cook's sign. He took Tim Cook's autograph on
Oh,
this.
okay.
Yeah.
I feel.
So, by the way, he also went and met Madhuri Dixit. He was with Sonam
हाँ, I
Kapoor
saw.
for some reason. Bro, IPL देख रहा है, Sonam Kapoor ही मिल गया तेरे को उसके साथ, उसका husband भी था. But I'm like, Sonam Kapoor, like what? As far as I know, he also met Shahrukh at Mannat. जितना मैंने
Yeah.
पढ़ा, or was it like no, he went to Antalya. What Mannat? That was Ed Sheeran. I'm so sorry, but it was they went to Antalya. Tim Cook was in Antalya. Antalya, however you pronounce it.
Antalya, yeah.
Yeah,
हाँ.
Antalya, yeah. So he was in Antalya. मतलब ऐसा news आया, they met and he was seen exiting Antalya. मतलब bro, मतलब next level.
बट ये
मतलब काम क्या है?
हाँ, बट ये दुकान भी तो अंबानी का है ना. He leased it to Tim Cook, no? So he had to go, na. That's how you meet your landlord, right? तेरे को पता नहीं रहेगा टेरेंट कौन है तो कैसा.
You
You
meet
want to
your
know.
landlord.
तो तेरे को जाके तो मिलना पड़ेगा ना. You negotiate
Then he
deposit
must be
deposit
like,
देने क्या रहेगा.
he must like, मोटा भाई थोड़ा deposit कम करो ना. मोटा भाई क्या करे, थोड़ा तो deposit कम करो. You know what's the rent, by the way? You know what's the rent?
42 lakhs.
42 lakhs. 42
That's what I
lakhs
read,
per
yeah.
month is the rent. And उसका मतलब deposit तो मतलब it must be 3 times. 1 करोड़ तो मतलब आराम से है उसका deposit. उससे ज़्यादा रहेगा dude.
Yeah, you have to meet a landlord. He must have verified. अच्छा तू ये Tim Cook है. Okay, can give you the shop.
Yeah. So this is good. Like he went, had vada pav, met Madhuri Dixit and all. Damn cool. Damn cool. What else happened in India? Let's go down.
Oh yeah, Rahul Gandhi happened. But yeah, we discussed this in the last podcast.
Yeah, he
Let's
got
move on to this one.
disqualified. हाँ, वो सब, वो scam. Oh,
Oh,
this
this is a
is
picture that I saw. So this is Hiranandani, right? In Powai.
Yeah, this is Powai. This is Powai
Yeah,
Ghatkopar.
you can tell. Huh.
Yeah.
Oh, this is
This is
Ghatkopar. I don't know much, but
Yeah.
so this
From what I
this match.
understand, this is Ghatkopar. So Ghatkopar literally नीचे आता है ना, and Powai ऊपर आता है. So if you yeah. So if you want to go from Powai to Ghatkopar, right? So or sorry, Ghatkopar to Powai rather, because nobody in Powai wants to go to Ghatkopar. So I will say, unless you want to catch a train. but so I'll tell you what. वो भी वो लोग कांजोर मार्ग जाता है. See. घाटकोपर is like विक्रोली and घाटकोपर ऐसा मतलब ये ऐसा बेल्जियम एम्स्टरडैम टाइप रास्ता क्रॉस किया इधर आ गया रास्ता क्रॉस किया उधर चला गया so these so घाटकोपर do you know घाटकोपर was is called घाटकोपर I'm not even kidding I've read this many years ago I read this the name घाटकोपर comes from the usual way people were talking ये जगह किधर है बोलते हैं घाट के ऊपर घाटकोपर
Oh, what are you
yes
saying?
sir yes sir
Bro, नाम
घाट
तो
के
ऐसे ही
ऊपर
पड़ता है
घाट
maybe I think I shouldn't be surprised because नाम तो ऐसे ही पड़ता है typically.
Do you know the story of Bhendi Bazaar, right? Like the name Bhendi Bazaar कहाँ से आया?
Because
This is
literally they
like
were
a
selling bindis there.
no, that's a logical way of thinking. अभी तो
Okay.
ऐसा तू नशा कर सिर ऐसा मार ऐसा दीवार पे फिर सोच और आंसर दे मेरे को कि भिंडी बाजार कहाँ से आया. And this is like a very popular theory and most people are like kind of like हाँ this is the truth of Bhendi Bazaar. और वहाँ पे
Bro,
if you
honestly,
go there you will realize
हाँ,
भिंडी is
हाँ,
not really that common there. Okay, वहाँ पे मतलब जाओगे ईद वीद के टाइम पे it's a beautiful place you know to go and eat at least.
हाँ,
So
हाँ,
भिंडी
हाँ, that's what I'm told.
yeah
But
so
honestly, I can't
गर्दी
think of
कुत्ते
any other
ऐसा
logical explanation except for the fact that they were selling bindis there. There is a
नो
popular
नो
market
नो वो
for
बहुत
buying
सबसे
those
पहले
things.
मेरे दिमाग में वही आया मच्छी मार्केट भिंडी बाजार
हाँ,
नहीं
हम्म,
so when the Britishers were there okay
हम्म,
when the Britishers used to whatever they were our friends right many years ago when they were there they used to call that area behind the bazaar and the वहाँ पे क्रॉफर्ड मार्केट है आज भी
Oh,
क्रॉफर्ड
अरे
मार्केट के
बाप
पीछे है
रे,
and they, the public is like
oh
behind the
my God,
bazaar and they're like भिंडी बाजार
अरे
and
बाप रे,
bro भिंडी बाजार is named after behind the bazaar allegedly don't quote me on
हम्म,
it but you will find it थोड़ा online search मारेगा ना तेरे को मिल जाएगा
हम्म,
so there's that by the way if anyone travels on Harbour Line they'll tell you Sandhurst Road is called Sandas Road by people I'm not even joking. See, I'm not even smiling in this because I've traveled on that line for a decade and they literally are like, हाँ वो संडास रोड पे आना. I'm like, कहाँ? हाँ, Sandas Road. They call it Sandas Road. You think people are going to pronounce Sandhurst Road?
Bro, I have a question now. So, for whatever that is an Indian word, say, okay, when the English anglicize it, we call it we say it's anglicized, right?
Hmm.
अगर English word रहेगा, उसको Indian करेंगे उसको क्या बोलते हैं?
Then we make a see we are very proudly Indian, right? Like I don't know what we'll call it. They call it Indianisms. Okay, they literally call it online we call it Indian English. Okay, in a very
हाँ,
derogatory way. This is Indian English. You know, revert back to me and stuff like that. Those words don't exist. Firstly, but by the way, 2-3 years ago, the Oxford Dictionary had to include revert as like a word. In
oh,
its dictionary. Yeah, अपन bro, this is real soft power. कि हम गलत है, फिर भी तुम एक्सेप्ट करोगे कि ये सही है because enough of us do this now.
Bro, it's
So
also called
I
mother
think
tongue
if that
influence,
is
no?
not, hmm?
Is that what we call mother tongue influence?
I don't know, man. Probably. You can say that. See, anyway, the British
So,
took a lot of words from like
हाँ,
Sanskrit and Hindi,
हाँ,
right? So
हाँ, हाँ.
अपन थोड़ा सा उनका भी screw with their language. That's acceptable in my eyes.
Hmm. Hmm. There's so many rules around languages, no? So, for example, you typically write an exam, right? Or you
Hmm.
take a test. What
Hmm.
Indians say is that they give a test. Because हिंदी में अपन क्या बोलते हैं कि मैं परीक्षा दे रहा हूँ,
दे रहा हूँ.
राइट?
Yeah.
क्योंकि भगवान हमारी परीक्षा लेते हैं, हम परीक्षा देते हैं. सो हम लोग क्या बोलते हैं इंग्लिश में कि आई एम गिविंग अ टेस्ट. Rather, you're taking a
Yeah.
test in English. You're not giving a test. So that is what
Wow.
mother tongue
Yeah.
influence is what I understand. But then again, maybe that
Yeah.
that is that. But this
Yeah,
is
dude, now that I think of it, yeah, Americans call it taking a test and we call it giving a test. कि हाँ, मैं
हाँ,
दे दिया. वो लोग बोल रहे हैं हम ले रहे हैं.
ले रहे
Man,
हैं.
this I didn't. Thanks. No, thanks. This is a good one. This is a good one. Thanks. Hey, but you know what? Let's
Hmm,
get back to the topic. I think this was also fun. But look at this. Yeah, this is
hmm,
Bombay. This is Mumbai. Sorry.
hmm,
The stark contrast in Mumbai. I'm not going to act all emotional about this. I'll just
hmm,
say this is sadly exceedingly common. What people don't realize, I don't know if people know this,
hmm.
60% of Mumbai is slums. 56 to 60% Mumbai
Oh.
is slums. Majority, in any case, whatever number you take, majority of
Mhm.
Mumbai lives in slums. Okay?
Oh.
It's a people think it must be 10, 20, 30%. It's not.
Mhm. Mhm.
Majority of Mumbai lives in slums. So this is not at all surprising. And this is just a sign of lack of planning, ensuring there are only 3, 4 cities in this country. पूरे देश में
Mm.
तो मतलब अर्बन सेंटर्स हमको बढ़ाने ही नहीं है. Luckily,
Uh,
Pune grew up. Otherwise, possibly,
mm.
see, this is like a city bursting at the seams.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah, 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 yeah.
and this is and subhuman living conditions for very
Mm.
hardworking people. Some of the hardest
Mm.
working people in the world, not even the
Mm.
country. Some of the hardest working people in the world live in Mumbai, and they live in such
Mm.
conditions. So I'm not surprised. So this that is the reality of Bombay. Redevelopment के नाम पे we are doing that SRA thingy, slum
Uh,
rehabilitation जो भी है.
mm. Mm.
I mean, I hope it happens, but yeah, this is just sad. I don't know. What are your thoughts on this?
I just know why I was visualizing Anil Kapoor and Nayak. We were just hoping कि
Hmm.
Anil Kapoor types कोई आएगा and they just transform the whole thing, and we would have far
Hmm.
better scenes than what
Yeah,
we are looking at right now.
yeah,
But yeah, to an extent, I mean, of course, glad that you brought that up because I agree with what you're saying. Okay, that's how I see it also because there's just too much concentration of population in these urban centers, and we need to
yeah.
think of ways of redistributing this. Okay, it
Yes,
cannot be कि अच्छा everybody from rest of the country is just coming to Delhi and Mumbai, and
yeah.
going to other metro cities in search of livelihood. We need to take care of this because it's a ticking time bomb. Hey, look at
It
it.
is.
So many people, okay, they're living so closely right now. Okay, God forbid, okay, if anything untoward happens, okay, it just spread like anything.
Yeah.
Okay, from
It
one house
almost
to
did
another.
2 years ago, 3 years ago.
Yeah.
It
Uh,
almost did. If like, and we were lucky, the fatality,
mm,
mortality wasn't that bad compared to
uh,
like the previous ones we have had over the centuries. But
uh,
this is not. If India wants to grow,
mm,
see, this is like I can't look at this photo and say Mumbai sucks. It's not Mumbai's fault. I would
mm,
blame the center, and somewhat I would blame like our country's glorification of villages
mm,
to a level where it is not sustainable. Like, boss, time has changed. You
mm,
need to have jobs in the villages also, in the towns
mm.
also. Sub job, sub
Yeah, yeah,
opportunity
yeah.
तुमको यहीं पे आएगा, नहीं चलेगा.
Uh, mm,
Like today I went for a haircut. Thanks for
mm,
noticing. Uh, and the guy who was doing my head massage, right?
mm, mm,
Uh, he heard me take a call and he's like,
mm,
"Oh, तुम्ही मराठी आहे का?" I
mm,
was like, "हो, तुम्ही पण मराठी आहे का?" He's like, "हो."
mm,
Because when two Maharashtrians first get in touch, the last thing we do is speak in Marathi. So obviously we
mm,
didn't know we were
mm,
Maharashtrians. And
mm,
he's like, "Oh, nice." I was like, "Where are you from?" He's
mm,
like, "Parbhani."
mm,
I was like, "Wow, that's incredible." He's like, "Yeah."
mm.
So he lives in Chembur and travels to
Uh,
Goregaon every day.
uh,
That's
uh,
2 hours
uh,
one
uh,
way, by the way, he does it.
uh, uh.
He's a blind guy.
Oh, what? Yeah, he was
Yes,
cutting your hair.
he's a blind. No, of course not. He was a masseuse. He
Okay.
is a
Okay.
masseuse.
अच्छा,
So this guy, and he's a really nice guy, and he
Hmm,
does his job so well. It's incredible. But he's from Parbhani. Okay,
hmm,
uh,
hmm,
Parbhani is not Mumbai for anyone who's thinking, right?
hmm,
Um,
yeah.
I was I won't say who, but I know someone like who works in the vicinity. That lady was like, we are from some village somewhere. Okay, now
Hmm,
I don't remember which village she said. But my point
hmm.
is कि यार ये लोग कितना सब कुछ छोड़ छाड़ के इनको आना पड़ता है
छोड़
यहाँ पे
हाँ
काम करने
हाँ
के
हाँ
लिए.
हाँ
And
hmm,
this is nothing different from what my father did. My
hmm.
father came from Kolhapur like what 30
Yeah,
years
yeah,
ago,
हाँ
35
हाँ
years ago,
हाँ
settled
हाँ
in Mumbai, Navi Mumbai, and
हाँ
he's still like, and he did like very well for himself, thankfully.
hmm, hmm,
And now ऐसा, and God is funny, तो मैं भी नवी मुंबई में पैदा होके सब करके, and ultimately I ended up in Mumbai again. Okay, he
hmm,
traveled from Kolhapur, I traveled from Navi Mumbai. Both
हाँ,
had to pay rent in Mumbai. But my point
hmm,
is that this is the failure of every other place in the country other than Mumbai. In fact, Mumbai
hmm,
should be lauded that it can still manage to somehow work and survive despite having so much
hmm,
pressure
hmm,
on it.
hmm. Yeah,
To
yeah, yeah.
be like an employment provider. So
Hmm,
we and it is good for everyone. Yeah, Mumbai will be
hmm,
a little freer. The people who come from all these faraway places, they will be, like happy to stay where they are. And in fact, my recent monologue, if you heard it, is cities versus
हाँ
villages, where I
या 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 या
advocated this. कि भाई तुम उनको जॉब दे दो, वहां पे वो खुश रहेंगे सब, जिनको आना
खुश
है मुंबई
रहेंगे
चौपाटी आके चले जाएगा शाम को वो, सो शांति रहेगा वो कम से कम. सो दोज आर माय थॉट्स ऑन दिस.
No, that's true. And for the amount of money they're making, if they make the same amount of money in their own town and villages, they'd be far better. Their lives would be
Far
far
better,
better.
far better. That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's
But
hope this works
anyway,
out.
what I wanted to ask was, did you go to like a
Hmm.
new barber?
No, I went to my usual one, couple salon, Goregaon. Why? क्यों, क्या अलग लग रहा है क्या? हीरो लग रहा है क्या मैं?
No, that is very unusual of him giving you like a massage, because that's the thing with new
No.
barbers. When you go to a new place, they'll
हाँ.
try and retain you by giving you a massage, which you would have never
Oh,
asked for. You still get a massage.
okay.
That happens with every
Okay.
barber, and that is why I asked if you went to new
Okay.
barber.
No. So I'll tell you what. Um, I have been getting a head massage with my haircut for the last 17 years.
What do you
Okay,
say?
without fail. Yes, sir. It is my 17 years. Every time I go for a haircut, I'm like, भैया head massage कर देना. Okay, and of course I pay them, right? Like there's a charge for it. As simple as that. थोड़ा life में थोड़ा सा प्रगति हुआ, पैसे आ गए, went to better salons. Okay, and वहाँ पे sorry, पहले I used to go to a barber. Now I go to a salon, and वो salon में they are like, sir, haircut is for like 600, your head massage is for 400, 500. So I was like, okay, that's
Bro, what a
literally
scam.
10x the amount. Yeah, I mean, this is like 7x or 10x the amount I used to pay to my barber, dude. But then again, my barber used to like have a shower once in 3 days. So this is like a trade-off, dude. Like I literally knew what he had eaten last night. It was so disgusting by the end of it with my barber. And I was like, I deserve better. I'm sorry, I deserve better. And so I go to the salon and I just get a head massage every time I get a haircut, bro.
But 600 rupees for a haircut is a scam, bro. Like, I'll tell you,
It
when
is.
I was in Ahmedabad,
Hmm.
okay, and it was a very okayish salary that I was making, okay. As a fresher, I'd gone to Ahmedabad for training, and
Hmm.
मैं तभी स्टील का डब्बा रहता है ना, स्टील का डब्बा लिटरली वाज अ बार्बर शॉप, उसमें मैंने 25 रुपए में कटिंग करी है. And for a
Hmm.
hair like mine, it really doesn't make a difference. मैं 25 रुपए में करूँ या 2,500 में करूँ, my hair is going to be the same only. So it's a waste of it's a waste of money for me, honestly. But then that's what I was coming to know. When you go to a new barber shop, they'll always give you a head massage free of cost. Maybe they'll charge you later once
Hmm.
you become like a regular customer. And of course, you have to find a regular barber, because अलग
Hmm.
barber से नहीं होता यार. I can't keep on hopping barbers. I need to have one guy who knows how to do his job properly with my hair. Okay, and let me go.
Hmm.
And then barber shops are like a scene right now. I mean, salon and all, they have like AC
How
लगा है
long
ये वो
have you? What is the longest? What is the longest you have had a barber, like the same barber? In my case, it was
हाँ
for. I'll tell you. Hold on. I had the same barber for 11 years. 11 years, same guy.
11
Okay. And
हाँ
I was like, after a point, I was like, bro, I can't do this with you anymore. I'm sorry. Because
हाँ
hygiene नाम की भी कोई चीज होती है. I started out
अच्छा
when I was like in my 9th standard. मैं 9th standard से
हाँ
उसी के पास जा रहा था. 9th standard से every month 9th standard से मेरा सब हो गया. 10th हो गया, 12th हो गया, डिप्रेशन हो गया, ecstasy हो गया, सब हो गया. लाइफ अच्छा हो गया, बुरा हो गया, सब हो गया. And
हाँ
I kept going to that dude all the time. And after a point of time, I just couldn't go with him. And by the way, there is a batchmate of ours who has had the same barber for 19 years now.
Bro, I'm not surprised. You're always loyal to your barber. If he knows how to do the job, okay,
Yes.
you will not change barbers. I don't know what is it, but I
Yeah.
like there is something called
Mentor.
loyalty
Mentor.
towards. हाँ. But
Mentor.
like we have that loyalty towards barbers if they know how to do the job. So to your question, no,
Yeah.
I think I've had the barber for almost 14 years, I think. तो क्या हुआ था कि so I was living in this one area. Okay, so as a kid growing up, I used to go to the same guy. Okay, and get this. मेरे वो बाबा वाले शॉप का नाम था जुपिटर हेयर सलून. It's not salon as you call it. It's always saloon. Which is called Jupiter. It's the wackiest name to have. for a barber shop.
Stupid.
I don't know what were they thinking. They called it Jupiter. And it was a tiny shop. For a name like Jupiter, okay, it was a tiny shop. But okay, fair enough. Okay, and barber shops in India are typical. They have that small TV up at the corner, and you're trying to watch the TV, okay. But तुम
हाँ
तो
हाँ,
बाल भी
ऐसा
कटवा रहे
ऐसा कॉर्नर में रहेगा, वहां से भोजपुरी सॉन्ग आएगा,
हाँ
गोविंदा का सॉन्ग आएगा, सब दुनिया भर का
हाँ
कचरा रहेगा. क्रिकेट मैच रहेगा तो
but
क्रिकेट मैच ऑन रहेगा.
and now this innate urge to watch the TV, but you can't turn your head because you have to get a haircut also, right? So it's a tircha nazar se you try and catch a glimpse, or maybe even
Hmm.
better, you would try and watch it in the mirror because right behind you would be another mirror, so it would reflect and you could watch the TV. So that was also there for
हाँ,
convenience added. Okay, so I had this
convenience.
barber for like 14 years since I was a kid. Okay, and then I changed places also. So from this area where I was living in, I moved to another place, and this place was like around 7-8 kilometers now. The barber from my new place, but I
Hmm.
still go to him
Hmm.
with my dad, and my dad and I would plan, try and overlap our times so that we would go to him together. But then one time, the barber shop they got robbed. Okay, so it got very serious, and then around then, Dad and I decided that we don't want to go there. So the robbers in that area actually looted every shop. They went to the barber shop, showed, pointed a gun, looted that guy.
Hmm.
Went to the kirana store next to him, pointed a gun, looted the guy. Went to the stationery next to it, pointed the gun, looted the guy, and then looted every store in that vicinity. And never after that we went there. Then it was a little difficult. We had to try and find the right barber. Then eventually we found one. Great guy. I still go to him, by the way, every now and then, every second month when I go over to Nagpur, right, to घर पे जाता हूँ. I try and ensure कि मैं अपने barber के पास ही जाऊँ because I still trust that guy. And the
Hmm.
joke is that I actually take a flight to get a haircut. So
Do you also sometimes be like, "Hey, वापस बंदूक दिखा रहा है, वापस फ्री में करके दे." Like he gets PTSD like, "Ah, no."
and get this bro, get this. ये नया बार्बर है ना, उसका शॉप का नाम है पेरिस हेयर सलून. So from Jupiter, I've graduated to Paris now.
ठीक है, not bad.
And
Like Paris still थोड़ा fashion type related है. Jupiter का
हाँ,
तो कोई relation नहीं. Like what are you in Rome or something? Like planet Jupiter and stuff like
bro,
that. Like the
I
god
don't
of
know. I don't, what is it
war.
with barbershops and the wacky names? And barbershops, I just love the place. Very typical. Okay, grown ass men. Sunday morning, they'll wake up, brush their teeth, come to the shop, reading newspapers in their shorts. Okay, discussing politics, discussing cricket, and then there's a typical. I don't know if you recollect this. There's this typical chart of haircut. Okay, and there'd be very good-looking men on the chart with different styles of haircut, and kids would typically point out, yeah, I want this haircut, and every barber would just royally fuck it up. Okay, and poor kids
Yeah,
would have to live with it and just go home.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I would always be safe with the
That's
military cut.
very cool.
uh, I would always play safe with the
There is
military cut.
another version. There is
uh,
another version, Dhawal, where there is
uh,
like the top layer will be of
uh,
all actors and actresses, ठीक है? And the bottom layer will be
uh,
actual
boys.
boys and actual girls. जो छोटा बच्चा लोग रहता है उनका कि these are the
uh,
different types of haircuts that you have,
oh,
and I'm like, my God, like that is like earlier back then we used to think, हाँ ये cut चाहिए, वो cut चाहिए. Now I'm like, bro, that was so cringe. Like, why would you do that? Those poor kids didn't consent to it, I'm pretty sure. And they are just plastered the entire time over there.
I just went back to all those memories, but there were so many cuts. It just flashed me अभी मेरे दिमाग में आया कि there was one cut called the Katori cut that was doing the rounds.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, it's not done.
To convince the kids that acha, this is good looking cut, they would call it mushroom cut because it's like
Mushroom cut.
little fancy.
Yes.
It's a little fancy to say that,
Fancy.
but other is to katori cut only. ये था ऊपर से
Yeah.
कटोरी डाल के
Yeah.
नीचे से कट के.
और आजकल आजकल देखा है क्या बच्चे लोग का इधर ऐसा वो डैश डैश आता है लाइक
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
आई एम
yeah.
सच एन अंकल आई एम कॉलिंग इट डैश डैश इट्स कॉल्ड अ
That's
फेड
it.
इफ आई एम नॉट रॉन्ग इट्स कॉल्ड अ
Oh,
फेड
I don't know.
या
I don't
या
know.
इट्स लाइक ऐसा मैं ऐसे किया ना तो यहाँ पे एक ऐसा यहाँ पे आएगा एक ऐसा यहाँ पे आएगा सो दीस किड्स गेट इट डूड दीस किड्स एज यंग एज 6 years old get it and they walk around like this I'm like क्या एटीट्यूड है यार तेरे में नेक्स्ट लेवल है तू dude today I'm sitting there बाजू में लड़का है मतलब वो लिटरली 12-13 साल का रहेगा obviously he was taller than me and he's like sitting over there his mom comes and she's like नहीं नहीं भैया हेयरकट नहीं हुआ है and this boy is like नहीं हो गया है she's like what's the point of getting your hair cut he's like नहीं
Ah,
नहीं अच्छा and he's arguing with her And she's like, fuck you,
हाँ
do what you want to do. And they just walked off, and the barber was like, thank God, like I don't want to spend too much time with you, मेरे को आज लोग कम है यहाँ पे. So it was damn funny, dude. Like some things never change. Your mom will
हाँ
always be unhappy with your haircut, always.
yeah
Like
yeah
like घर पे वापस भिजा देते थे, ये क्या बाल काटे,
हम्म,
चलो वापस जाओ, ये कम काटे, चलो चलो वापस जाओ. Like literally we would go एक तो on the weekends, right? Saturday Sunday we would
हाँ
go for a
हाँ
haircut, and if they
हाँ
didn't like our haircut, they would send us back. They said जाओ वापस
हम्म,
कटा के आओ, ढंग से कटा के आओ.
same
Otherwise,
same same
sometimes if
same
it was bad, they would literally drag us with them. They would go to
हम्म,
the barber and they would complain कि कैसे भेज दिया आपने मेरे लड़के को ऐसा.
हम्म.
You know, like fuck you, get it done for
Yeah,
free.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like
Oh my God. It's just crazy. It's happened. I think maybe it happens in every Indian household. It happened with me also.
yes,
It happens till date.
yes, yes.
Okay. मैं घर पे भी जाऊंगा ना, my first thing my mom will ask me, why did you get a haircut? She wouldn't be like, अच्छा, I'm so glad you're home and all. Her first question, why didn't you get a haircut? She doesn't like my hair. My hair is a little curly. और थोड़ा सा, if I give it a little time ना, it
Blame
comes out like a
her,
mango.
dude. That's her. I'm
हाँ
sorry, it's her fault. Like तू बैठ के बाल नहीं बनाए अपने.
हाँ,
If
I
there is
blame her. हाँ, I
anyone to
blame
be
her.
blamed about your hair, they are the last people to accuse you of it. Okay,
So I get
I'm
hair like
sorry.
Maggie, all curly and all, and she doesn't like it. So I've never had the
Yeah.
opportunity to grow hair, but
Yeah,
okay.
I know. I can understand, dude. My dad complains like, like तेरा height नहीं बढ़ा. You're short, bro. He and I are at the same height.
Height नहीं बढ़ा.
Yeah, bro. My dad and I are the same height, and he's like, I'm disappointed. तेरा height नहीं बढ़ा.
And
And this is
it's just
coming out
it's
of
funny.
nowhere. Like हम लोग lift में entry मार रहे हैं, ground floor जा रहा है. He's just staring at me. नहीं तेरा height नहीं बढ़ा. I'm like, हाँ, I know, but I'm your height. What are you?
Bro,
How can you say something like this? But yeah, that's
Indian
that's
parents,
just Indian
Indian
parents.
parents will never get.
Yeah.
They'll just find an opportunity to be disappointed with you. मतलब कोई तो reason रहेगा, and they just have to be disappointed. You're
हाँ
not chewing
वो तो
properly. You're not breathing properly. You're not sitting. अबे
क्या है?
क्या? What do you want from us?
Dude, once I was beaten up because I was crying too much. And I was crying too much because I was beaten up. Just by the way. He's like the first round was for something, but the second round is because you won't stop crying. अभी बहुत हो गया है, तुम बहुत रो लिए. So now you have exceeded
Oh.
your crying credits. So your देखो ऐसा और मार पड़ेगा. So that was our childhood, bro. I mean, actually one episode can be just on that, but let's
Childhood.
wait
Yeah,
for.
yeah.
We can actually talk about all the scams that were pulled off on us when we were kids and the scams we pulled off when we were kids. So let's get to that. But let's get back. I'll reshare you don't do anything. I'm just changing the layout. Just scroll down. Let's check out the other
Okay.
things that we have. This was a good topic, by the way.
Yeah. Husky.
People of India,
The people
stop
of India.
adopting huskies.
I don't know. I don't have a view. I don't know much about dogs, but maybe there's a
Hmm.
reason to that. I think the reason why they're saying this is because Huskies are not like they're not like an Indian breed. शायद बाहर से आते हैं and maybe they can't
मेरे को
adapt to
बताओ
the
मैं
conditions.
हस्की का एक्चुअल मतलब क्या हस्की को क्या बोलते हैं? It's literally called Siberian Huskies.
हाँ.
Bro,
But yeah, I
Siberian
mean
Husky
literally Siberian Huskies. Yeah, yeah. You getting them from
हाँ
Siberia over
हाँ
here. So हाँ,
या मतलब
I guess that is what it
वो
is.
जो कुत्ते का जो टाइप है इट इज
Hmm.
मेंट फॉर लाइक -डिग्रीज. ओके,
Hmm.
वो ऐसा
Hmm.
4 डिग्री 5 डिग्री में भी नहीं होता वो. The thing with huskies though is like they look amazing, they look exotic, they look fantastic. Okay. Oh yeah, look at the third line. It's called, they are not called Siberian Huskies in vain.
Oh
Like
yeah.
literally.
हाँ.
Yeah, dude,
हाँ.
वो अरे and I know like अरे है Siberian Husky दिखता है अपने यहाँ
Hmm.
पे. Bro, even Navi Mumbai has so many huskies. You know, they have so many huskies, and they are obviously they're like expensive, but they look good. So it's like kind of a status symbol also. Many years ago, I had gone to this dog festival in Powai. I was in advertising. तो वहाँ पे husky वगैरह थे. अरे forget husky, I saw bloody Saint Bernard over there. Bro, Saint
What are you
Bernard तो
saying?
मतलब वो ऐसा मतलब वो
हाँ
ग्लेशियर
हाँ
में
हाँ
रहेगा वो कुत्ता.
yeah.
So I've
Bro,
seen
that is.
Saint Bernards in Powai. I've seen huskies in Powai, and huskies are not husky, multiple. So I don't think उसके ऊपर भी law होना चाहिए, bro. मतलब ऐसा it's not good for the dogs also. Yeah, आएगा 5-10 साल में इसका law आएगा. But anyway, yeah. Next one. ये नारायण कार्तिकेयन नहीं, वो ठीक है, उतना interesting नहीं है.
What is this? Okay.
Same sex marriage. Interesting. क्या वो हुआ कि नहीं, मतलब सेम सेक्स मैरिज का सीन क्या है अभी? बिकॉज फ्रॉम व्हाट आई सी इज दैट homosexuality is not illegal in India. It
Huh.
was struck down a few years ago, but
Hmm.
same-sex marriage is not allowed in India. The
Hmm.
government is saying the center is saying no, considering our overall country's
Hmm.
sentiments and religious and social customs,
Hmm.
same-sex marriage cannot be allowed.
Yeah.
I think
Hmm.
that was the logic that they presented, and they're like, we are too conservative for this, and फिर वो religious angle of the
हाँ, हाँ, हाँ,
definition of a
हाँ,
marriage and all of that and all
हाँ,
of that.
हाँ,
वो चल रहा
हाँ,
है. I
हाँ,
don't have many expectations on this one.
hmm.
Frankly, same-sex marriage doesn't affect my life. I wouldn't
Yeah,
mind it.
exactly.
And what
हाँ,
people who want same-sex marriage are saying it matters a lot, because if two men or two women are in a relationship and in their heads they're married, right? Because they're like, we are a couple.
hmm, hmm, hmm.
So if they are married, they get things like property inheritance. ओके,
हाँ,
तुमको
hmm,
इनहेरिटेंस का ये मिल जाता है, तुमको टैक्सेशन के लिए यू बिकम लाइक वन यूनिट. ओके,
hmm, hmm, hmm,
अनदर थिंग इज यू कैन ईच अदर्स नॉमिनीज बनना बहुत आसान होता है.
हाँ,
करेक्ट.
हाँ,
So
हाँ,
those things matter a lot. So
हाँ, हाँ,
because if something happens, God forbid, something happens to one partner,
hmm,
the other one,
hmm,
if they're legally a spouse, they can get
hmm,
that benefit, right? So
hmm.
abhi to
Right.
wo possible hai nahi. So that is the logic which one side is presenting, but I have no
हाँ,
high hopes. As I've said, mera to, by the way, one of our batchmates, I sent that message ki,
हाँ,
like we we are too focused on what the wider country will think, in a lot of aspects, and
हाँ,
urban India's cultural weight is negligible in a lot of ways, absolutely
okay.
negligible. So because if you go polling people in urban India, it won't be such
Hmm,
an abnormal ask to do
hmm,
same-sex marriage, right?
hmm, hmm, hmm,
I don't have high hopes considering the country's majority,
hmm,
non-urban. That will win out.
hmm, hmm.
Those are my thoughts.
Bro, yeah, I think, see, again, as you said, really doesn't change my life either. Okay, I mean, I'm happy, more than happy, people get to do this, right? Get to be in a same-sex marriage. I just feel that we're just too focused on this right now. There needs to be like a proper plan to this. Okay, there needs to be a
Hmm.
strategy on how we're going to execute this, because right now we have separate laws for Hindu marriages. I think we have separate laws for Muslim marriages also, right? And I think
Yes.
religion wise we have like different laws, right? So that also needs to be that will also have to be worked out, whether we need to have provisions within these acts, or do we need to like have separate provisions altogether. There's a whole lot of areas that need to be explored, understood, processed on, and then we need to come up with proper laws for this. That in my mind is going
Wow,
to
I
take a
didn't think
lot
of
of time,
that.
lot of hard work.
I didn't
That
think
is
of
going to take
that.
a
I
lot of
didn't.
hard work.
Yeah.
So what I
Wouldn't it
feel
be
is
easier?
for,
Wouldn't it be easier with like a uniform code for marriages across the country?
uh, yes, would be. Again, uniform civil code is what a lot of people are advocating for. But then we are like a country of diverse religions. Uh, I don't know how we'll be able to accommodate all of that. Okay,
Yeah,
or if we'll be able
possibly
to
not.
implement just like a uniform civil code for everybody. I don't know if we'll be able
Hmm.
to achieve that ever. Okay, but what I
True.
was getting to at was for a situation like this, there's a lot of study that will have to be done on this, right? And for people who are advocating for this, okay, might as well just start working on it. Maybe Supreme Court can just let them know, institute a committee, ask them to start working on it, come up with whatever acts that are needed to safeguard whatever situations will arise out of a same-sex marriage,
Hmm.
and evaluate it and then implement it. And to your point on urban versus rural on this front, uh, you're right. There's a lot of conditioning because we are. I think a lot of people in the rural areas are just they've never even processed this thought that something like this can even happen. Okay, same-sex marriage can also happen. Okay, so there's a lot of conditioning that we'll have to work on for people to come around and understand, yeah, acha, okay, and okay, acha, something like this can also coexist with us. And once we've achieved that, we will get there. But the work needs to begin in this direction. Is that I don't think the
Yeah.
government needs to needs to spend time, or the SC needs to spend time on this, because there are far more. I'm not trying to, you know, give like certain weightage to certain this thing, but still there are a whole
Downplay.
lot
You're
of
not trying to
issues that we need to
downplay the
be.
importance of this.
Exactly, I'm not trying to downplay the importance of this, but there are a whole lot of issues, burning issues right now that we need to take care of. Okay, and
Fair
also
enough.
at the same time, these are also countrymen, right? We need to give them their space. Let them do what they want to do. Okay, figure out how they want this situation to roll out, and then go back with the recommendations, get this implemented, and get on with our lives. I mean, if
Wow. That's a
who are we to say who has what preference, right? If someone has certain
yeah.
preference, okay, fine, let's just live with it now. उसमें क्या problem है? ठीक है.
Fair enough. But then again, that's our, I would say, urban conditioning, which is
हाँ,
giving such answers, right?
exactly.
Like,
हाँ,
and see, a lot of you are what you eat, bolte hai na. So
हाँ,
our brain is also like a stomach in a way, and the content that we
हाँ,
consume is food.
हम्म,
So
हाँ,
because of what we have consumed and the way we have been conditioned, is why we
हाँ,
are the way we are, and this is which is
हम्म,
why same-sex marriage as a concept itself is so okay with us, which is not so
हाँ,
in other parts
हाँ,
of the country, and even in urban India,
हम्म,
boss. Urban India, maybe I'm not saying ki majority will be yes, not at all.
हम्म,
It will
हाँ,
be like urban India is also pretty conservative. वैसे है तो ultimately हम
yeah, yeah,
Indians ही ना. So conservatism is fine. I'm not saying I am also conservative in a lot of ways, boss.
हम्म,
But yeah,
हम्म,
let's hope no one gets jacked on this, dude. Like
yeah, yeah,
unnecessarily, people ऐसा discrimination नको. So anyway, let's go
हाँ,
to the next
exactly.
one.
Okay, this is foreign relations. China attempting to rename places in Arunachal.
जा नहीं
China
China
बोलो.
को China नहीं China. Next. Yeah, explain this one. Yeah.
So, what is your must-see movie? As in the movie that you absolutely recommend that everyone should
Hmm.
watch. To
Hmm.
me, I don't know. I just have an affinity for Godfather. I just love the movie. बट गॉडफादर में बहुत सारा सीखने जैसा भी, इट्स नॉट जस्ट दैट इट हैज एंटरटेनमेंट वैल्यू, उसमें बहुत सारा सीखने जैसा भी है. आई मीन ऑफ कोर्स सीखने
Hmm.
जैसा मतलब वीटो कॉर्लियोनी वाज अ माफिया, he had some businesses going on and stuff, but he was also like a family man. At any
Hmm.
point in time, he's always protective of his family. He wants to take care of his
Hmm.
family. He also says that a man who doesn't spend time with his family is not a real man. He was actually asked this question in one of the IIM interviews, and they'd asked me which my
Hmm.
favorite movie was and what were the three lessons that I took from that. One was this, of course, spending time with your family, prioritizing your family over anything in life. Work, be it work, business, whatever. Family is family.
Yeah.
And then there was another reason that I given was that you should be very you should watch what you say. There's this one scene where Vito Corleone, the Godfather, his son,
I know which
and
scene you're talking about. The guy who's trying to make them sell drugs.
exactly. I'm forgetting his name. I've seen this so many times.
Yeah.
But then,
Yeah.
Sonny speaks his mind, and then he shushes him, saying, "Ki, yaar, what are you doing?"
Sony, yeah, Sony. Sony.
Ha, Sonny.
Yeah, Sunny तो
Okay.
अपना इंडिया में bro. Sony.
So yeah, so there were a couple of things, right? वो so बहुत सीखने जैसा है यार. मतलब
Yeah.
irrespective of what was doing in the movie, he's very protective of his family, protective of his children. So सही था. There was, so that is why there's one must see movie. There's one movie that I always recommend, and anybody who's not
Yeah.
seen it, just go and see. Of course, it's a 3.5 hour marathon, but you'll not regret it. Every minute of it, you'll just love it.
Okay, Godfather 1 or 2. Which one is better?
One any day. I'll pick one any day. Two is a little more like Michael meant business in two, is what I felt.
Yeah.
One was little, how, and of course, to make SI, they've also shown shots of how Vito Corleone was growing up, and that was also very heartwarming because as a kid he lost all his family back in Sicily in Corleone. Then he went over to America. He didn't know the language, but from there he, Genco oil, and he made a name for himself. So that was crazy. But if you ask me to pick between one and two, one any day.
I would disagree. I believe 1 is beautiful, but I love 2 because of Robert De
Acha.
Niro's performance.
Oh,
I
okay.
love to show that Michael became worse than who, like he just became
He
the
already was.
opposite
Yeah,
of
yeah, yeah.
what his own
Uh,
father wanted of him. He wanted him
mm,
away from the business. He wanted him to become a senator
yeah,
or
yeah, yeah.
something, which he could have. If you know a little bit about American politics, if you go to the
Mm.
army and then come back, you have a very high chance of
Yeah,
getting
yeah,
into
yeah,
politics.
yeah, 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 yeah.
So Michael completely loses it. In fact, he doesn't just become the Godfather; he becomes an
Mm.
evil person.
Evil
Michael
person, yeah.
becomes an evil person by the end of Godfather 2. If you
That's
ask me,
uh,
Vito Corleone was never evil. He was
uh,
not a
uh,
good
uh,
person, but he
mm,
was never
mm,
evil, But
mm,
Michael became straight up evil, dude. But no
mm.
spoilers to ones who have not watched Godfather. By the way, if you
Mm.
haven't watched Godfather, jump somewhere, dude. Like, how can you
That's, a,
not?
that's an interesting
Uh,
point you made, because in the first one he actually says this to Kay Adams. Okay, I'm not my family. When he
exactly.
tries explaining what
Yeah.
Corleone does,
Yeah.
so वो
Yeah.
बोलता है कि I'm not my
So
family.
that way, I get it. Like, The Godfather is actually beautiful. But by the way, one trivia. We'll move on to my answer to this. But one
Mm,
trivia
mm,
about Vito Corleone. So Robert De Niro and Marlon Brando both
हाँ.
played Vito Corleone, and they were the first people to win an Oscar for the same
Oh,
character. Okay, the
oh,
first people to win an Oscar for the same character were these two, and but that record stood for like 30-35 years or so,
uh,
and
uh,
someone else broke that record. Do you know who's that? Same
I don't know.
character, two different
Huh,
actors.
that's it. I'm trying to think. Was it
it's uh
like in,
it's the Joker, Heath Ledger and Joaquin Phoenix.
oh, oh,
The
oh,
Joker.
yes, of course. Oh, that's an interesting
Yes.
trivia.
Yeah.
I was thinking Jack
So
Nicholson
that
for some odd reason.
no. So same character, but different actors. Is actually, it
Oh,
was Vito
yeah.
Corleone one, and second is the Joker. So
Oh,
that is
nice.
that's a crazy stat if you think about it. That's a
Hmm.
crazy one. But
But then, which is
yeah,
your
moving
musty
on.
movie then?
Exactly. Thanks for asking. My Masti movie is a little R-rated, but
Hmm.
I genuinely love it.
Hmm.
Uh, it's Pulp Fiction. My favorite
Ah.
movie of all time is Pulp
Hmm.
Fiction. It is just fantastic, like Quentin Tarantino at his best. And
Hmm.
it's like every scene just captures you. And when you're watching it for the first time, you are like, "क्या चल रहा है boss?" मतलब
Hmm.
ये पहले था, ये अभी है, नहीं है. एक तो it's not, the timeline is not congruent, right?
Hmm.
Like typical Tarantino. So
Ah,
it's so beautiful. What I like about Pulp Fiction is, it is a movie which is not afraid to be a movie. Okay,
hmm.
it is like यहाँ पे कुछ भी हो रहा है, जो भी हो रहा है, पागलपन हो रहा है. Okay,
Hmm.
and it shows that it humanizes like assassins. Think about it. It is
Hmm.
humanizing assassins and gangsters in a lot of ways. The dialogue is about like two assassins, like two people. These gangsters are
Hmm.
talking about burgers. It's
Hmm.
like कि ये लोग क्या बात
Ah,
कर रहे होंगे? They're talking
ah,
about burgers and some of the best dialogues ever.
hmm.
Like
Hmm.
Samuel Jackson,
Hmm.
उसका क्या
You're
dialogues है
right.
यार.
Hmm.
English, do you speak it? Like, oh
Hmm.
my
Hmm.
god, like that whole scene. मैं आज भी वो scene देखता हूँ, मैं पागल हो जाता हूँ. Like, how did he act so well? Like
Hmm.
it's incredible.
That is an
I
interesting point, because in our minds, no, we are always visualizing gangsters through movies only. We've not met gangsters in real life, right? So somebody who's a thug, they have ऐसा style रहेगा कुछ चलने का, बोलने का
larger than
तरीका.
life.
Exactly. But what you said is actually right, because they're humans. They might be gangsters doing bad stuff, but yeah, they're humans at all. ना वो भी burger खाता है, or he'll ask the basic questions. Do you speak English? This that. जो भी करता है, he'll keep it basic
Yeah.
only, right?
Yeah. It is
Hmm.
just beautiful, and it shows the boss and subordinate relationship where he has to
Hmm.
take his boss's wife out for a dance. And
Uh,
I don't want to give spoilers, but it is a crazy
yeah,
scene.
it is.
Everything about that movie is crazy. The songs are beautiful, the dialogues are amazing. There's some
Hmm.
crazy unexpected stuff happening all the time, and the
Hmm.
performances by everyone is fantastic.
Hmm.
Everyone. Okay,
Hmm.
like some of the things I can't even say what all happens,
Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
it's just like genuinely beautiful. So that is one. The next is obviously, I would say, Schindler's List. Everyone
Hmm.
should watch Schindler's List. It's
Hmm.
obviously based on the Holocaust. and
Hmm.
it's based on a real story, by the way.
Hmm.
And when Oscar Schindler, he was a German businessman, did very
Ah,
well during the Second World War, but he also saved a
ah,
lot of Jews, right? It's the whole story is about
yeah,
that. And I did not cry the
ah,
entire time when I saw the movie. I was like, ki, ha, matlab, theek hai. I was prepared. I knew the premise. At the
hmm,
end, the last scene where he realizes he could have done much more. Despite doing so much, he realized, I could have sold this ring, I could have sold this car, I could have sold this jacket,
hmm,
because everything that he owns was equal to at least 1, 2, 3, 4 more people.
hmm.
Correct. So when I saw that and he started crying and I started crying at the end of the movie, I was like, oh God, this is so
Oh my
real.
God.
Like, imagine living with the guilt ki ye फालतू चीज जो पहन रखा है, that could have been a human life.
Hmm,
I mean, and the entire movie is in black and white except for one part,
hmm.
which
Ah,
obviously shows the genius of Steven Spielberg. So yeah, those are my two movies. Which and in Marathi, I would say Shwas. If anyone's watched the movie
ah,
Shwas
that's a
in
good movie,
in Marathi, that's a beautiful film.
bro.
In Hindi, I love Dil Chahta Hai. So yeah, those
Ah,
are my
in
favorite.
in in Marathi, there's another recommendation called Fandri. So yeah, that's a great movie. Since you mentioned that people were crying, Hachiko is a great movie to watch. I was an
Uh,
idiot watching it in the hostel. Okay, sharing the room with two other boys, and bro, I just couldn't control my tears. It was a very tricky day because Hachiko will make you cry. I don't know how hard you are on the inside or whatever, but it will make you cry. And I was just idiot watching it on my laptop, and they were sharing it with two other guys, and she couldn't control my tears. Simply because of the fact
very
that
good.
मुझे लगा they'll make fun of me. But yeah,
Yeah.
Hachiko is a great
नहीं,
movie.
but ऐसा movie देखना चाहिए time to time so that we also remember, like to be close
I
to,
mean,
yeah.
that is what makes us human, right? I mean, if
That's true.
not for emotions,
Makes us
then
human.
what are we then?
Yeah, yeah. So let's move on to the last thread for the day, because I think we have like quite a few, other. We have covered a lot of good topics.
Anyway,
This
this
is a
is an
good one.
interesting one. Yeah, this one I came across. So, what is an item that profits off of stupid people? So, what is it? What do you think it is?
Yeah, let's go through some answers.
Okay, magnetic therapy bracelets, gems and crystals. Of course, this is the first thing that came to my mind. Okay, for all the stuff that they're selling to people in the name of feng shui or vastu shastra. I mean, of course, there's science, and again, I don't want to, disrespect any science as such. But then, for a lot of stuff that they sell, okay, I'm pretty sure there's a scam going on under the name of all of this. Okay, तुमको कुछ भी ऐसा ये बेच देंगे खड़ा रहेगा पत्थर रहेगा तो इससे होता है काम नहीं होता है बस
Hmm. Yeah, I think human beings need placebos, dude. So I think that kind
ah
of works.
yeah, that is there.
It's a
But
victimless crime.
yeah, yeah.
Reddit gifts. Nah, that's okay. What else?
Expensive brand names, baby clothes.
No, not really. I would say, see, वैसे तो why baby clothes? Then you can say expensive brand name clothes. Correct. Yeah,
Huh, correct, correct, right, because we're clothes, right? I mean, what difference does
they're
it make
clothes.
what brand it is?
Yeah, the reason people buy expensive clothes is to feel good about themselves. If I
Huh.
want me to feel good about my baby, I will give him or her expensive brand name baby clothes. It solves a
Hmm.
purpose. I'm sorry. You can call them stupid, but they're stupid while being rich. So I guess that's not much of a problem. Next.
Hmm. Oh, bro, this is
That,
one really amazing one. I don't know if it's on the thread. So I read about this
hmm.
guy who was selling uh, what he called was a solar dryer for clothes.
I know.
Okay, for $70, and it's just literally rope. There's a clothesline. It's just a rope. $70, $50 में वो बेच रहा है. And I'm like,
Yeah.
what? क्या हो रहा है यार इधर? How
It
how
was in the
like
US,
he was in the US, right? So yeah,
and
that is one
he
item
used to
that
sell it on eBay. He used to sell it on eBay, and it came out because someone sued him. Someone sued him. And वो बोला कि basically it's a solar dryer, and he used to give like that rassi as you said, and I'll hang it
yeah.
like.
One item that I can think of is the flamethrower. So I was watching this interview or podcast Elon Musk का. So Elon Musk manufactured like 20,000 flamethrowers.
Hmm.
Okay, and he was against it. He didn't want to make more people. And वो बोला कि 2 दिन में शायद वो पूरा सोल्ड आउट हो गया. 20,000 फ्लेम
Hmm.
थ्रोवर्स.
The Boring
What was
Company, the Boring Company wala.
boring company did that? Elon Musk basically manufactured it. I don't know under which.
हाँ, it's
For
called,
which
he has this thing called the Boring Company. तो
yeah,
उसमें
he has a
उसने वो
boring
फ्लेम
company.
थ्रोवर, हाँ.
Oh, acha. So people bought it. I mean, I can't think of any use for a flamethrower. Maybe it's just because it's a cool thing to have. But other than that, I can't think of any use or utility
You
for
are
it. So,
absolutely correct. Now that I think of it, yeah, dude, like that. It's actually, you're right. Yeah, that flamethrower thing was so stupid. Like at least a
हाँ,
Tesla truck or a car will take you somewhere. That
you take
flamethrower
somewhere.
kahan bachega? Like what are you in a war or something? Like flamethrower, and for sure there are some regulations. I'm pretty sure there are some regulations for the sale of certain equipment. You know, like कुछ भी किसी को भी कुछ भी थोड़ी बेच सकते हो तुम. License लगता है. So I don't know, man. That's damn crazy. This was fantastic actually. Today we discuss. ये Reddit पे ना ये continue करते हैं. इस पे बड़ा मजा आएगा. इसमें काफी काफी कुछ है discuss करने लायक अभी वो.
Maybe we can make a series
Finally
out
now,
of it. Yeah.
yeah, we can actually make a series out of it. Dude, this was fantastic. This was amazing. I hope you keep predicting more IPL matches. Maybe you can go on Dream 11 or something and earn some money over there. Do you do that? Do you go to Dream 11 or CrickPay or whatever the hell that is, like My Circle 11 and all of that? Do you
I'm not
do
doing
that?
any of that. I'm not doing any of that.
Good. You should
Because
not. I to stay away from all of this, dude.
But I know for a fact that a lot of people, so in my previous organization, a lot of people were doing that, especially seniors even. They were very involved. So I don't know, maybe it's like a good escape or something. People trying to give like create like a little room for their little vices, not get too involved, of
Yeah.
course. They're very smart people for their level, right? But, it's nice to have that little room and gamble a little
No,
maybe.
I think in India, everyone thinks they're a coach. Okay, India में सबको
हाँ.
लगता है they are a mastermind. So I think this Dream 11, CrickPay, and all of this Bharat क्या, what is the Circle 11? These things like really play on to our genuine delusion, collective Indian delusion कि मैं बहुत शाना है and मैं strategy mastermind है. So चाणक्य ऐसी थोड़ी हमारे देश में पैदा हुए हैं. तो there must be
So
some link ना. So that is there. More than the money, I think it's that.
Can we say that this is an item profiting off of stupid people?
Oh, that's a fantastic callback, bro. That's a fantastic callback. Thanks a lot, man, Dhawal. This has been fantastic. Thank you so much.
Oh, thanks. I
No,
just want to
this
say
really,
that since we're blowing up now, it seems okay. We got like more views now, and hopefully this one will get even more views. Start following me on Instagram. No? The handle is below.
yeah,
This
dude.
is
Yeah.
the handle.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Please follow Dhawal on Pagla Potta on Instagram. He needs it, and he puts out some amazing memes the entire time. The kind of effort he puts in is fantastic. So thank you so much, folks. Thank you for watching, and thank you, Dhawal. Once again, Pagla Potta, can't say thank you enough. I'll see you soon. Yeah. Take care.
Thanks for having me. Thanks. Bye bye.